Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So Jason, Dedeker, how are y'all doing today?
Oh man, it's what a day. This is my last Drunk Bible Study. This is my second to last Drunk Bible Study before I come back to the States. Yes, that's the one.
Wow. Well, how about you, Jace? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's actually been quite warm here in Seattle for the last couple days. So yeah, I'm sweating.
What's warm for Seattle? What's warm for there?
That's a good question. I mean, I suppose it's, like in the 80s, I would say.
Oh, that's warm. Yeah.
No, it's legit warm.
Lovely.
Yeah.
My mom's dealing with like 100 or around like 100, 103.
Right.
Jeez,
103.
that's ridiculous.
That's
ridiculous.
That's a whole different world. But I'm excited to be here and excited to read more of this story because we're getting to like David's rise to power. Emily, do you remember what happened last time?
I remember that he acquired a new lady. What else? There were men peeing on walls.
There were those who piss up against the wall. You got to say the whole proper phrase.
Yes,
right.
That's the one.
Right.
And then what else happened? I don't know. Those were the exciting things. Oh, perfect.
Well, there's Nabal. The whole thing with Nabal.
Yes, Nabal died, or maybe Abigail poisoned him. We don't know. Mm-hmm. We're speculating here. And yeah, he acquired that wife, and then also his old wife got taken away from him.
Yeah.
Sad. It was sad.
She's
time.
gone.
Michal. Yeah, she was given to someone else. Yeah, you know what? I looked up a little bit about that name, and apparently it's actually right now in Israel a super popular girl's name is.
Oh, really?
Michal.
Really?
Yeah, like a quite common female name, and it's interesting because in other languages, Michal that gets Romanized the same way, like when it's written in our alphabet, is written the same, is like in what was the example? Now I'm blanking on it. I think it's in Russian, for example. Like that's their version of Michael. So it's a male name, but they kind of pointed out, it's like, well, this is the same way that like in French, Michel is the French
Camille.
version of the name Michael, as opposed to us thinking of Michelle being a woman's name. So anyway, it's just kind of like Michal and Michal are two totally separate names. One that's a female Hebrew name and the other that's a male Latin-based name. So
yeah.
Right. Ooh, what is it that you're drinking right now, Emily?
I am having a lovely watermelon margarita. I had some watermelon lemonade, just added a little bit of lime juice to that, and then some Contro and tequila. It's very good.
Oh, that sounds great.
Heck yes.
That's very refreshing and
Half
nice.
rim of salt. It's lovely.
Yeah. How about you, Jace?
So I am drinking a Sky Kraken IPA. I mostly bought it for the name, to be honest.
Sky Kraken.
Sky Kraken.
Like a kraken, but in the sky as opposed to the sea. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So it's on it. There's a picture of, a giant sort of squid-like kraken creature wrapping its tentacles around an airship, like around a dirigible.
Now, I mean, that does prompt the question, is a kraken more terrifying in the sea or flying through the air?
I want to say the air is more terrifying because it can get to you anywhere.
See, for me, it's all kind of relative. If I'm in the sea, the kraken's more terrifying in the sea. If I'm in the air, the kraken's more terrifying in the air.
Well, sure.
It all depends relative to where I am.
If you're on land, though...
I suppose.
If I'm on land and there's a kraken about, I'm hiding under my bed.
Yeah, if he's like flying around up there in the sea, he's has to stay in the sea because of gills and stuff, I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure
gills.
Yeah. I do feel like... Also, I will say I travel a lot more by air than by sea. I mean, not recently, but in general...
That's true.
something
in
that
general,
could grab
I don't want to add that to the list of flying anxieties.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
you're absolutely right.
So I think we've decided flying Kraken is carrier.
I'm just kind of having a boring Australian Cooper's Pale Ale beer. It's pretty standard. I had a much more exciting drink last night, which was when I made a vodka martini, and I took a page out of my aunt's book. My aunt likes to make vodka martinis by taking a green olive and then stuffing it with blue cheese, like really nice blue cheese, and then popping that in the martini.
It's not something I would ever do, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, do they make vegan blue cheese? Is that a thing, Emily?
I've never seen vegan blue cheese. I've seen vegan cheese, and some of it is delightful, but I tend to do my martinis with garlic stuffed olives.
That also sounds good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's almost about the same. You kind of get that like salty, umami-ish kind of flavor that imbues the martini. It's real nice. So that was what I had last night, and today I'm drinking that off with a beer.
Good. Well, hair of the dog. That's good.
Yeah, indeed. All right, what are we reading today? Oh, I guess it's right at the top here. Here it is. 1 Samuel 28-31. How lovely.
Yeah.
It's nice that it's just in front of my face now. I can see it.
Exactly. Yeah. So today we're going to be reading 1 Samuel 28 through 31. You can go to drunkbiblestudy.com/read and read along with us if you would like. So as we get started, we want to remind everyone to both read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen to us while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time. And with that, 1 Samuel 28. It happened in those days that the Philistines gathered their hosts together for warfare to fight with Israel. Achish said to David, "Know you assuredly that you shall go out with me in the host, you and your men." David said to Achish, "Therefore you shall know what your servant will do."
Right, I just remembered now that what we read last week is that David is kind of in cahoots with the Philistines and pretending to raid Hebrew settlements, but he's actually raiding the Philistine settlements that are on his hit list. Right?
Okay, so Achish is a Philistine king? Is that what happened?
Seems that way, yeah. That he's the one who gave
yes.
David this town, and he thinks that David has made an enemy of himself with the Hebrews because he's been raiding their towns, even though he hasn't been.
Okay.
Yeah. Glad
That's
we recapped that.
Definitely, because missed that amongst like all the wives leaving and coming and all that. So.
Right, and peeing on walls, yeah.
Yeah, all that too. So what is this? Therefore you shall know what your servant will do. Achish said to David, Therefore I will make you keeper of my head forever. My head.
Maybe like
what?
Keeper of
like
my head.
Army?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That would make sense, right? Like keeper of my
Let's go with that.
The keeper of my leaders of peoples. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Oh, now Samuel was dead?
No.
What?
Hold on. Wait,
yeah,
before
Samuel
we get to
died
that, Samuel died last week.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That should have been the first thing I said. You're like, and Samuel died. Big whoop. Who cares?
There was no build up or anything to it.
No. Okay, so I just looked in the message, and this I'm making you my head means I'm making you my personal bodyguard.
Oh,
wow.
So
Okay.
Literally the guardian of my head being on my body.
So, okay, I'm watching TNG right now, so he's basically Worf. I mean, Worf's not really the personal bodyguard. Worf's like he's the head of security. That's who David's the head of security.
Okay, yeah, close to
Close
that.
enough.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, but we didn't really see that, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. Even in his own city. Saul had put away those who had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. The wizards?
Those who had familiars, so witches and wizards.
Dang.
That's awesome.
So Saul did this. Saul was responsible for kicking out all the witches and wizards and warlocks and booting Gandalf out on his ass. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool. So the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and encamped in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Israel together and they encamped in Gilboa. When Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart trembled greatly. When Saul inquired of Yahweh, Yahweh didn't answer him, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets.
Oh, so he tried all the different ways of getting in touch.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
like, I hit you
God
up on your
doesn't
cell
really care.
phone, on your landline, your email. I posted on your MySpace wall.
You didn't do anything,
your dusty spiderweb covered MySpace wall.
Exactly. Sorry, somebody just tried to call me, and I'm like, no.
See, they're doing to you what Saul's trying to do to Yahweh.
Exactly. I'm the Yahweh in the situation. I'm like, nope.
That's it.
Screening the call.
Yahweh was recording a podcast. It's just like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yahweh
I can't
had
right now.
much better things to do. Okay. Then said Saul to his servants, "Seek me a woman who has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her."
Oh,
meaning like a witch.
So he had already banished.
A witch.
He banished all these witches and people with familiar spirits, and now he's like, okay, Yahweh isn't answering. Go find me one of them.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not going to go over well.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. His servants said to him, "Behold, there is a woman who has a familiar spirit at Endor, on a moon of Endor."
In Star Wars. She's an Ewok.
She's an Ewok.
Okay, she's definitely played by an Ewok.
I love it.
Okay,
that sounds great. Saul disguised himself and put on other clothing and went, he and 2 men with him.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. What? I need to hear some bids for like what Saul disguised himself as. What was he wearing?
It's like at the start of Return of the Jedi, when Luke like has on, when Leia has on that cool outfit and she like has the voice box thing and she's like,
when she's the bounty hunter,
Gobonite. Yes, exactly.
I like that, but he's got a little voice modulator too. Yeah,
just a tiny bit conspicuous, but I like it though.
Cool.
No, I like it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Okay. So where was I? Saul disguised himself and put on other clothing and went, he and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, "Please divine to me by the familiar spirit and bring me up whoever I shall name to you."
Okay.
So what does this mean? Like, are they going to create a person?
No.
Or are they going to like get him to come? Or are they calling on Yahweh?
Somebody.
It's like a seance. You know, it's like, I want you to get in touch with some spirits for me. I'm going to tell you which spirits to get in touch with.
Okay, God's not going to like this at all.
Nah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson hates seances.
For sure, yeah. So let's see, where are we? The woman said to him, "Behold, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off those who have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Why then lay you a snare for my life and cause me to die?" I see. So she's like, no, because Saul, who she doesn't realize is...
She's like, this is entrapment.
Right. Yeah. She's like,
totally.
You must be an undercover cop. You have to tell me. You're legally required to tell me.
You're a narc. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Saul swore to her by Yahweh, saying, "As Yahweh lives, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing." And then said the woman, "Whom shall I bring up to you?" He said, "Bring me up Samuel." What? He did. When the woman saw...
Emily, we're doing
that's
a
the
seance.
point because they're seancing?
That's the point, yeah.
Okay, they're seancing. Is that the point of a seance? It's like bring up the dead people?
Speak to spirits on
what
the
is
other
it?
side.
The
Ouija board?
That's the one. You know what I was talking about.
We saw you doing the little planchette moving around gesture.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Bring me up Samuel. When the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spoke to Saul, saying, "Why have you deceived me? For you are Saul." The king said to her,
she knew.
She knew,
She
apparently.
knew. She's like, I know no one liked Samuel other than you.
Well, wait, what about David?
I guess, but they didn't really hang out as much as Samuel and Saul did.
There was a period of time they were hanging
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, he like brought up David, right? Kind of? Or no,
Also, because
no,
unlike Princess Leia, Saul is like really tall And so that bounty hunter costume doesn't quite fit him in exactly the same way that it would. And I think it's pretty obvious.
But it's interesting, though, that she doesn't notice who he is until she actually calls up Samuel. It's not like he said Samuel and she was like, aha, gotcha. But it's like she summoned the spirit of Samuel. And Samuel was like, Samuel was like, Saul, what are you doing here? And then she figured it out.
Maybe it's because Samuel actually showed up. Maybe she was like, nah, Samuel, I can't get him. That's, that's too big of an ask.
Really big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the king said to her, don't be afraid, for what do you see? The woman said to Saul, I see a god coming up out of the earth.
A god?
Oh,
is she talking about Samuel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hang on. Let me check some other translations here.
Okay, this is 13.
So
I hope that the message is much more spooky.
I mean, this is fairly spooky.
This is fairly spooky. So the King James says, I saw gods, plural, ascending out of the earth. And the message says, I see a spirit ascending from the underground. So it
from
seems
the metro.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the words or the vocabulary terminology at this time was a little bit wishy-washy about like gods, spirits, ghouls, ghosts. Maybe they don't have...
Well, in its lowercase god, so it's not like... And we don't even call God in this. We call him Yahweh. So it's
a
not
lesser
Yahweh.
god.
Sometimes we call him God, but yeah.
Do we?
Every now and then it switches to God in this translation.
Oh, yeah, there it is. God is uppercased in a little bit. Okay. All right, fine. Capitalized.
So lowercase God,
lowercase God
or
here
spirits.
Is
okay.
A God and just a lowercase God coming up out of the earth.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
He said to her, what form is he of? She said, an old man comes up and he's covered with a robe. Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he bowed with his face to the ground and did obeisance.
Yeah, we never quite landed on how to pronounce that, but yeah, he supplicated. He bowed down and dogeza.
Yeah, what is
Japanese
it? Dogeza. Japanese dogeza. Yeah.
Yes, you got it.
Samuel said to Saul, "Why have you disquieted me? To bring me up?"
Okay, can we go back now? This is a ghost. Can you give us a little bit of a sort of a spookier reading?
I used to do that, and then the readers out there, the listeners out there, said that was really annoying to them. So
yeah, but this is okay. But this is a short.
I feel like you're the only one who can do it.
No, it was only long
short
passages.
Ghost. Yeah,
all right.
This is just very brief ghost, spooky voice. Let's hear it.
Why have you disquieted me to bring me up?
Oh, really wasn't the direction I was expecting you to go in, but it's good.
I mean, what can I do? He's been underground for a while. He's over it. He's like, excuse me, I'm sleeping now.
I love it.
Okay. Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me. Okay, uppercase God, meaning Yahweh.
Yeah.
God is departed from me, and answers me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may make known to me what I shall do. Samuel said, Why then do you ask of me, seeing Yahweh is departed from you, and is become your adversary?
Ooh. Yikes.
Jeez, I don't think that's what Saul wanted to hear.
Yahweh has done to you as he spoke by me, and Yahweh has torn the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor, even to David. Because you didn't obey the voice of Yahweh and didn't execute his fierce wrath on Amalek, therefore has Yahweh done this thing to you this day. Or that day, like a while ago.
So I like that we're just sort of coming back to really all of this. His whole falling out with Yahweh was over his not slaughtering this whole town way back when.
I mean, I guess so.
That's still the clincher.
Yeah, he's continuing. Moreover, Yahweh will deliver Israel also with you into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shall you and your sons be with me.
Whoa.
Meaning he gonna die. That's awkward. Why are you telling him this? He'd be like, well, I'm staying home then.
Right. Okay,
I'm not going
first
anywhere.
of all, I just want to rewind the tape a little bit just to point out the fact that we are speaking to a ghost. A witch has actually called up a ghost. Now that's weird.
Yeah.
Successfully. The fact that so much of the rhetoric is around like, no, they're false gods, false prophets, not effective, don't believe them, kick them out of the
They
kingdom.
just want
and
you to
yet,
think that. They just want you to
at the
think
end of
that.
the day, if we got to call up a ghost, we can successfully call up a ghost. Like, that's kind of the bonkers part of this to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder how people, like kind of do how they think about that in their mind. They're like, well, it's not real, but it was real in the Bible during
Well, because that's
this
the
time.
thing, is that if the story was that, like, she called up this ghost and this ghost was just, like, speaking nonsense about how great Saul was and how Samuel was like, yeah, and, like, I like ponies, and, like, it was just speaking, like, complete, utter nonsense, they'd be like, well, clearly she was faking it, or, like, there's some other apparition, or, like, she was conning him in some way. But the fact that Samuel's actual ghost, his actual not living, not breathing ghost, actually came to say some truth, I'm just like, they just kind of gloss over that.
well, yeah, and it's interesting too, because if we think back though to previous times, like remember when Pharaoh's his like wizards or magicians or whatever could replicate all the same stuff that Moses was doing. It's like again, if we're taking away all our sort of modern day sensibilities of what we've been taught about magic and gods and all of that, and we're just trying to read the story as it's written, it's like, no, this is absolutely a world where there are wizards and there's magic, and that
You're
Yahweh
absolutely right. Yeah.
and Yahweh has forbidden it for his people. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. Like we've covered, other gods exist. Like it talks about them as if they exist.
There's talking trees. Isn't that kind of what an Asherim is? It's kind of like an ent.
Okay, so we're going to
Because
the
the Asherims were kind of trees.
Lord of the
Sorry,
Rings.
I'm smack in the middle of reading the Two Towers right now, so that's where my head is
fun.
going.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah, right. But basically, that I guess in this world, in the world of this telling, witches and wizards and all those things are real. They're just our enemies, right?
They're a threat.
We shall not suffer them to live. We got to kill them all. They're bad, but they're legit. They're real. They're just bad. We're not allowed.
Not
Okay.
at all. Oh, yes. Okay. He has one more thing to say. Yahweh will deliver the host of Israel also into the hand of the Philistines. What's the host
Oh.
of Israel?
All of them.
Like all of them.
All of them. All
Whole
of Israel.
shebang.
All the people. All the Hebrews.
The whole ball of wax.
Yep.
The full
Cool.
Monty.
Yeah. All right. Fun. Then Saul fell immediately his full length on the earth and was so
full
afraid.
It's just
I love it. He was like, yes, indeed. That's exactly what happened. His full length on the earth and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all that day,
Well,
nor
Saul,
all the
you
night.
keep Saul. You keep making the same mistake my mom always makes, which is not eating all day.
Yeah, I
This
make
is the
that
second
mistake.
time he's done that. Saul.
Right before we started recording, I realized that it was already, 4 p.m, and all I had eaten today was a piece of toast with peanut butter on it. I was like, I
Wow.
should eat before drinking. So I quickly crammed some food in my mouth. So I can relate to
good.
Saul here.
Jeez. Well, maybe he was very busy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, but he fell his whole length, which is really a funny way to put it. The woman came to Saul. Oh, the witch came to Saul and said that he was sore troubled, and said to him, "Behold, your handmaid has listened to your voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have listened to your words which you spoke to me. Now therefore please listen also to the voice of your handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you, and eat, that you may have strength when you go on your way."
Oh, that's
Get the
kind,
hell
I
out of
guess.
here.
Yeah.
it is
I
nice.
guess.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I'm risking my life for you because I know you've outlawed all of us and did what you said. Now listen to me and eat some bread.
Now
And then
she's
get the
Glinda
heck
the
out of
Good
here.
Witch.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, definitely.
All right,
She's
all
nice. But he refused and said, "I will not eat." But his servants, together with the woman, constrained him, and he listened to their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat on the bed. The woman had a fattened calf in the house, and she hurried and killed it. Ugh. And she took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread of it. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they ate. Then they rose up and went away that night.
What a weird...
right.
I did not
That's-
expect that to be the way that ended.
No, me neither. It's the end of that chapter.
I was expecting that he would then follow that up by having her executed. Or,
Oh, surely. I thought for sure that she was then going to be killed or exiled or something.
I'm glad
like
that that's not what happened. Goodness.
Right. Or that she was then going to leverage that against him and be like, now you better do what I say or I'm going to tell everyone. But then instead it was like, no,
You better bring me 3 eyes of newt
Right.
and 4 paws of a dog and
exactly.
A toadstool.
But instead, she just fed him all her best food and then they left. So, yeah, it's just weird.
maybe she felt sorry for him because he did just get a pronouncement that he and his sons were going to die.
Yeah, it was his final meal.
That is a bummer, yeah.
Because he's probably not going to eat again until tomorrow / never.
Maybe she's hoping that like this will help stave off him having the urge to kill the messenger
her?
by throwing a spear at them.
Yeah,
You
that's that's
she
true.
sees a scary spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
she's like, a hungry man is a dangerous man, so let's not. Yeah, okay.
Let's not go there.
A hungry Saul's a dangerous Saul, as the saying goes. Is Saul also among the
Prophets
the
of hungering.
All right, chapter 29. Now, the Philistines gathered together all their hosts to Aphek's twin. Sorry, Aphek. I'm going to say Aphek's twin.
Aphek? Okay,
Yep,
Aphek's
Aphek.
twin, yeah.
All their hosts to Aphek's twin. And the Israelites encamped by the spring, which is in Jezreel. The lords of the Philistines passed on by the hundreds and by thousands. And
By
David...
hundreds and by thousands.
yeah, both of those. And David and his men passed on in the rearward with Achish.
The rear word?
Right, so the Philistines were going by hundreds and thousands, and David, who's with the Philistines, he's like pretending to be with the Philistines, is in the back of that group, I guess, with Achish, the king, the guy. Yeah, okay. Then said the princes of the Philistines, "What do these Hebrews here?" Achish, about David, probably.
Like here
wait.
or here?
Like, what do these Hebrews here? Like, why are they
What
in
the
our
hell are they
group?
doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, why are they here? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Achish said to the princes of the Philistines, "Isn't this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, who's been with me these days, or rather, these years? And I have found
Jeez.
no fault in him since he fell away to me to this day." So he's been upstanding Philistine citizen the whole time.
Great.
That's what he thinks, at least.
Okay.
But the princes of the Philistines were angry with him. Understandably.
They know what's up. Yeah. What the hell, man?
He's killed so many of their people.
Oh, for sure.
And Goliath. And the princes of the Philistines said to him, "Make the man return, that he may go back to his place where you have appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he should become an adversary to us. For with what should this fellow reconcile himself to his Lord? Should it not be with the heads of these men?" Us men, I guess, is what they're saying.
So they think that David's going to turn on them.
Right. He's going to try to win his loyalty back to Saul by betraying
right.
all of them.
Right.
I doubt that somehow, but maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
I actually
David
think
did-
they might be correct.
I think that
You're
they're
like,
actually
they
not
probably
so
know what they're talking
stupid. I
about.
think that they're onto something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, lest he turn on us. Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying Saul has slain thousands, David his 10,000s?
Oh,
They
this
gotta
good old
they gotta
song.
put that
Love
one
that
back
song.
and just like gotta throw that in there yet
Classic.
It's an international
Top
hit.
40.
It's their favorite.
Everyone knows it.
International top 40.
Yeah.
again. Totally.
Then Achish called David and said to him, "As Yahweh lives, you have been..." It's weird that if he's a Philistine that he's saying "as Yahweh lives," but I guess sort of out of respect for his God, I don't know. "As Yahweh lives, you have been upright, and your going out and your coming in with me in the host is good in my sight."
Okay.
Okay, remember we covered this before, that going in and going out is sex, going out and going in is battle.
Coming in and coming
Wait.
out is battle.
Going out
and coming in
Going out and coming in is battle.
is battle. Okay.
But going
Okay, so
in and then
they're
out
battling.
is sex. I'm pretty sure we've established this.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to remember that distinction next time.
Right. "For I have not found evil in you since the day of your coming to me to this day. Nevertheless, the lords don't favor you. Therefore,
Which lords? Like the lords that are there around them?
The other princes, the Philistine lords.
Don't like this guy.
Right. Yeah. They accurately do not trust David. Therefore now return and go in peace, that you not displease the lords of the Philistines. David said to Achish, But what have I done? And what have you found in your servant so long as I have been before you to this day, that I may not go and fight against the enemies of my lord, the king? It's really buttering him up, really trying to win him over.
Leaning into it.
Achish answered David, I know that you are good in my sight. I'm imagining he's sort of touching his face while he says this, you know?
Wait, David's touching Achish's face?
No, Achish is touching David's face, being
okay.
I know that you are good in my sight as an angel of God. And he kind of kisses him lightly on the forehead.
This is played by Tony Dalton, by the way. That's the decision we came to.
Who's Tony Dalton again?
Lalo
that's Lalo Salamanca. Cool.
That's even better then. Yeah, he's like holding both hands on his face, kisses him on the forehead. An angel of God. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, he shall not go up with us to the battle. Mm-hmm. Therefore, now rise up early in the morning with the servants of your Lord who have come with you, and as soon as you are up early in the morning and have light, depart. So David rose up early, he and his men, to depart in the morning and return into the land of the Philistines. The Philistines went up to Jezreel, which we established earlier is where the Israelites are. So so they're going to battle now.
They're going to the Israelites.
But then David went back home to the Philistine lands. So I'm curious if he might still have a plan.
Yeah, is he trying to overthrow Saul? Is this what's happening here?
That's
David is slippery.
Yeah.
It's real
David
slippery.
is kind of slippery, like more slippery than you would have thought previously.
I think he's just trying to survive at this point, and it's really just like whoever can give him the best deal at this point.
I don't know, because we've been shown that David is such a brilliant strategist. Mm-hmm. So I think he's got a plan. It's interesting, though, that thinking, just like not reading ahead, not knowing what's going to happen exactly, is that Samuel did say, Ghost Samuel did say that also you're going to die, and all the hosts of Israel will go into the hands of the Philistines.
Oh, so the Philistines
But they also said that the sons were going to die.
Well, yeah, Saul and his sons are going to die. Oh, gosh, I hope that Jonathan doesn't die.
But it's Jonathan.
Oh, no, this could be tragic.
The implications.
I was just going to say, though, that what if the Philistines capture them, and then David somehow does a little coup and takes over the Philistines, and that's kind of how he then rules all of them.
Okay, that's not a bad prediction. That's not a bad prediction. I would love to hear from all y'all in the chat joining us live what your predictions are for what David's move is exactly here.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's the first of the first two of our 4 chapters for today.
Chapter 30.
Okay. It happened, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the 3rd day, that the Amalekites had made a raid on the south, and on Ziklag, and had struck Ziklag, and burned it with fire, and had taken captive the women and all who were therein, both small and great. They didn't kill any, but carried them off, and went their way.
Wow.
So don't mind us. Just
holding them high in the air. Like, we're taking you, but we're not going to kill you.
When David and his men came to the city, behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captive.
Yikes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow. It's no good.
Yikes.
Not great.
Then David and the people who were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. David's 2 wives were taken captive.
Oh, no.
Ahinoam the Jezreelitess and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. Oh, dang. Oh, David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David strengthened himself in Yahweh his God. I guess that makes sense. Everyone's like, wow, David got us into this mess, and so we should...
Right, this is his fault. Yeah.
Wow.
This is all his fault. Mob rule. Okay. David said to Abiathar, the priest, the son of Ahimelech, please bring me here the ephod. Abiathar brought there the ephod to David. Okay, he's going to do some casting of runes.
Cool.
Right. Classic.
Yeah, here we go. David inquired of Yahweh, saying, if I pursue after this troop, shall I overtake them? He answered him, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and shall without fail recover all.
Clearly.
That's some good dice rolling.
Yeah.
Definitely. He
So-
rolled a 20 on that one. Yes.
So David went, he and the 600 men who were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those who were left stayed behind. Those who were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 stayed behind, who were so faint that they couldn't go over the brook Besor. Are they also not
Why were
eating?
they faint?
What is going on? Are they sad? Are they just too sad? They can't get over the brook.
maybe. I was thinking it's because they had just marched. I guess it took them 3 days to get back there from where they were with the
They
other
probably
Philistine.
haven't had any bread either.
Right.
Yeah, probably not. They found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David. Oh, we haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah.
They're like, you'll know what to do with him.
They found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he ate, and they gave him water to drink.
How nice of them.
They gave him a piece of a cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. It just
Another
keeps
Fig
going.
Newton. Another Fig Newton. That's great.
Okay, and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread, nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights.
Jeez.
Why, like no one's eating right now.
No,
maybe-
I know. Why is everyone fasting?
Yeah.
David said to him, to whom belong you, and whence are you?
Wait, what? To whom belong you? Like he belongs to someone.
I guess there's something about this guy that's indicating that he's a servant or a slave,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
He is an Egyptian here in the
Or
Philistine
maybe it's like,
lands.
what faction are you with?
Maybe, yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell are you doing here?
But yeah, I'm thinking slave because he's an Egyptian and he's in Philistine territory,
Okay.
right? Like we're not in
Okay.
Egypt right now. We're pretty far from
Yes.
No, we're definitely not in Egypt right now.
Okay. He said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite, and my master left me because 3 days ago I fell sick. We made a raid on the south of the Cherethites and on that which belongs to Judah and on the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. So he was with the people who burned down Ziklag and carried off all the
Right.
ladies. And yeah. David said to him, will you bring me down to this troop? He said, swear to me by God that you will neither kill me nor deliver me up into the hands of my master, and I will bring you down to this troop.
Oh, he doesn't
Those
want
raisins.
to be back with his master?
No, he's like, these fig Newtons are way too good.
Yeah.
I know which side I'm
Let me
picking.
stay with you.
When he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad over all the ground, eating and drinking and dancing because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. David struck them from the twilight even to the evening of the next day, and there not a man of them escaped, except 400 young men who rode on camels and fled. I love that.
Nobody escaped, except for like these random
like
400 people. They
400,
got them
but-
camels and ran.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed this. Who did they go to? Who were the ones who were like doing
The
some fun
Amalekites.
dances? Okay, the Amalekites.
The
yes.
Amalekites, yes.
who are
Dancing.
so the Amalekites are Philistines, I think. They're or maybe someone else.
I think there's someone else.
Okay, but they were the
Because-
ones
because
that
they're
he was
dancing-
raiding.
There's a
Yeah.
line that they were dancing because of the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of Philistines and out of the land of Judah. So I think this is a
Okay.
third
Out
party.
of both. Okay.
I see. So this is a different group, but they were the ones that David was raiding.
Yes.
So he wasn't raiding
Yes.
other Philistines. He was raiding
He
these
was
other
raiding the
people,
Amalekites.
but telling Achish that he was raiding the Israelites.
Right.
Got it. Okay. I did want to point out that in the message here, on that line of David attacked them, again, going back to this analogy that apparently the message loves using, it says, David pounced, period.
He's a little tiger.
It's a little tiger.
He's a little kitty.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so no man escaped except for 400 of them.
on camels. Just so you know. Camels.
David recovered all that the Amalekites had taken, and David rescued his 2 wives.
Wow.
Yay.
Oh, good.
There was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil, nor anything that they had taken to them. David brought back all.
Wow.
David took all the flocks and the herds, which they drove before those other cattle, and said, "This is David's spoil." David came to the 200 men who were so faint that they could not follow David, whom also they had made to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet David and to meet the people who were with him. And when David came near to the people, he greeted them. Then answered all the wicked men and base fellows of those who went with David and said, "Because they didn't go with us, we will not give them anything of the spoil that we have recovered, except to every man his wife and his children, that he may lead them away and depart."
But they're not going to get any of the spoils of war. That's too
that's
bad.
what the wicked
yeah.
dudes are saying.
Oh, okay.
Are saying they don't deserve any of the spoil other than their own wives and children because they didn't come along with us because they were crybabies.
Can I? The message version of this is quite delightful. This is like prime sort of message, really trying to make it relatable.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So then David came to the 200 who had been too tired to continue with him and had dropped out at the brook Besor. They came out to welcome David and his band, and he came near. He called out,
And his band.
in his merry men, yeah, his band.
Okay.
And he came as he came near. He called out, "Success!" But all the mean-spirited men who had marched with David, the rabble element in parentheses, or comma, the rabble element, and another comma, objected. They didn't help in the rescue. They don't get any of the plunder we recovered. Each man can have his wife and children, but that's it. Take them and go.
The rabble element.
Yeah.
That's
I love
good. Then said David, "You shall not do so, my brothers, with that which Yahweh has given to us, who has preserved us and delivered the troop that came against us into our hand. Who will listen to you in this matter? For as his share is who goes down to the battle, so shall his share be who tarries by the baggage. They shall share alike." I think I got the gist of that. It was so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel to this day. Okay, so it's kind of like we all split tips at the end of the night.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
I understand.
I
that
think is
reference.
the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
When David came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil to the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, "Behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yahweh."
Ooh.
To those who were in Bethel, and to those who were in Ramoth of the south, and to those who were in Jatir, and to those who were in Aror, and to those who were in Sifmoth, and to those who were in Eshtemoa, and to those who were in Rakal, and to those who were in the cities of the Jerahmeelites, and to those who were in the cities of the Kenites, and to those who were in Hormah, and to those who were in Borashan, and to those who were in Athak, and to those who were in Hebron, and to all the places where David himself and his men used to stay. You know, the Econo Lodge on Route 66.
What? Wait, what did they give him? Wait, he gave spoils to all the places?
All his friends, I guess, in all the
Oh.
cities that maybe housed him and his men,
Okay. Goodness.
perhaps,
Wow.
and the Econo Lodge.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a while since we've had a big, long, repetitive list like that.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a nice callback.
Yeah,
good.
that's pretty impressive. Wow.
Hope everyone drank for that. I can't believe we didn't realize this earlier, but this chapter that I'm about to read is the last chapter of 1 Samuel.
Oh,
What?
Jeez. Gosh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay,
Just-
everyone.
Next
Abrupt.
week, we're
Cheers to
on
that.
to 2 Samuel, the return of Samuel, as Emily likes to call it.
Samuel colon 2.
Are we, question,
Samuel gets resurrected.
are we keeping the same theme music for both Samuel books?
I was thinking we switch.
Yeah, you want to switch it up?
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So if anyone
Remember
has
to find that one.
if anyone has sort of thoughts about what the theme for 2 Samuel should be, if you maybe know anything about sort of what the overarching themes of that are, let me know and I'll try to find something good that fits that. Okay. And with that, the final chapter of 1 Samuel, David origin stories. The David Knight rises. King David rises. There we go.
3 David Knight.
Okay. All right, here we go. 1 Samuel chapter 31. I almost started reading from the Message. I love doing that.
Dedeker enjoyed doing it from the NIV that one time.
Now, the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain on Mount Gilboa.
Uh-oh.
The Philistines followed hard on Saul and on his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan.
No!
Oh, no. What? No. They can't kill Jonathan.
He's not allowed to
love.
die.
It just did.
But
This is like Game of Thrones. Anyone's at risk at any time. And the Philistines killed Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, the sons.
They don't matter.
The sons
we
of
don't
Saul.
care.
Only Jonathan.
All 3 of Saul's sons killed. The battle went sore against Saul, and the archers overtook him, and he was greatly distressed by reason of the archers. Yeah, no shit.
I just watched my 3 children
clearly.
get slain, but I'm more concerned about the fact that, like, there's a lot of archers around me.
Jeez.
I'm going to look like a pincushion in a second here.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jonathan.
Okay, then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me."
Oh, okay. So,
okay.
yeah.
I guess because
He has to avoid dishonor of being killed by the enemy.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
he's doing like, that's another Japanese thing. What is it?
Yeah, almost like a seppuku, but that's when you do it yourself.
right. No, he's asking this guy to kill him. It reminds me of, who was it that when the rock got dropped on him by the woman and he was like, "You kill me," so that they say that it was you and not that woman
Exactly.
that did it.
The fat guy who also covered his feet.
Nope, different guy.
Nope, different guy.
I don't know.
No,
then.
yeah, that was a story from Judges. That guy who was like, "Oh, I can't let people know that a woman killed me."
Right. So you got to
Yeah.
stab me. Yeah. So it sounds a little bit like that, but
I can't let people know that these uncircumcised men killed me.
and then also that he said, "And abuse me," makes me think that, well, yeah, he's the king, he's the leader. So if they're going to like take it out on someone and like, I don't know, cut off
He's the
his
one
big
to-
toes or like the things that they do to kings that
Right.
they capture, they're probably
Right.
going to do that to him too. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Whoa.
But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore, Saul took his sword and fell on it.
I see.
So
So,
he did.
it was
Literally
it was more of a
fell on his
seppuku
sword.
situation. Wow.
When his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he likewise fell on his sword and died with him.
Oh,
What?
jeez.
True love.
Gosh. Yeah, well, we did learn that the armor bearer relationship seems to be a very, very important bonded relationship between men.
Yeah, it does seem to be a very intimate relationship. That's true.
Huh.
So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer. Oh, and all his men. That same day together.
Oh,
Also
okay.
everybody.
Just everyone. Just everyone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool.
When the men of Israel, who were on the other side of the valley, and those who were beyond the Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled. And the Philistines came and lived in them. It happened on the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. They cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent into the land of the Philistines round about to carry the news to the house of their idols and to the people. They put his armor in the house of the Ashtaroth. Oh, Beyonce's back.
Oh, yeah.
They
Fun.
put his armor in the house of the Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Beth Shan.
Whoa.
jeez.
Wow, dark. When the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard concerning him that which the Philistines had done to Saul. Let me try that sentence again. When the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard concerning him that which the Philistines had done to Saul, comma, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Beth Shan, And they came to Jabesh and burnt them there. They took their bones and buried them under the tamarisk tree in Jabesh and fasted 7 days.
Okay,
Wow.
so that's kind of the closest thing they got to like a proper funeral, right?
Burial, yeah.
So I guess they snuck in and stole these bodies so that they could do some kind of a funeral for them.
Seems that way.
So that seems to
Wow.
be, and that's it. That's the end of First Samuel.
Wow, gosh. I mean, okay, I will
Wow.
say, very cinematic
Dark.
ending to the middle of a continuing series.
It's like
sure.
it's like Age of Ultron, or you know what I mean. The second to last one of the Avengers series.
Infinity War?
Will y'all tell me? Infinity War. Wait, Infinity War is the last one.
Oh,
last
Endgame.
one is
You're right. It was
Endgame.
Infinity
Okay, thank you.
War. Okay,
Thank you, Daniel.
yes.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Yes, so, okay, Infinity War. Yes, this is like Infinity War, and maybe Samuel's second Return of Samuel is Endgame.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot
okay.
of time travel that happens in Second Samuel.
Definitely.
But just
definitely.
not only R.I.P. to Jonathan, but R.I.P. to Adam Driver as Kylo Ren as Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Boy. He started out with such promise as such a tall, promising boy, a tall, handsome, promising boy.
Yeah, well,
And here he is.
Ben Solo to Kylo Ren, there he went.
Yeah.
Sad.
I've said this before, and now that we've finished the story of Saul, I'm going to say it again. I think a movie version or a TV show version of the life of Saul would be so good. Would be so good.
yeah.
Because we really
Yeah.
get to see this whole arc from, coming from relatively little to being chosen to be the first ever king of Israel, trying to do right, trying to be merciful, and then being punished for it, and then slowly sort of being driven mad by that, and by this idea that everything's being taken from you, that you clutch more and more to it. It's like exactly the arc of all the shows that are popular in the last few years,
true.
you know?
That's true.
Of this kind of like slow turn to the dark side in a way.
Yeah, true anti-hero stuff there.
Yeah.
Pretty intense. Wow.
Wow.
Well, I guess then Samuel 2 is all about what?
David.
David
Crockett.
being
Yeah.
Davy Crockett being king and stuff, because definitely Saul and none of his kids are going to be the king.
But where do we go from here? Because it's like the Philistines have really done a number on the Israelites.
Mm-hmm. They took all
Maybe
their cities.
it's rebuilding.
Well, yeah. Okay, here's my prediction. That then, basically, it's not like Saul dies and then the kingdom goes to David, because clearly the kingdom's been taken over and dispersed. But it's that David is going to come in and sort of, Braveheart style, like unite all the tribes and then like re-earn their freedom or whatever. And that's how he'll
Well,
become
it didn't
king.
end very well for him in Braveheart.
Okay, yeah,
so
well, all right, maybe that's a
That's true.
bad example.
we'll see what happens, but yeah.
Oh, do you think we're going to get any kind of acknowledgement or scene of David learning that Jonathan's been killed?
Oh, I don't know.
Because how can he stay loyal to the Philistines after they've killed Jonathan? Like,
Maybe
He's
that's
not
what
sad.
loyal. It's a ruse, isn't it?
does seem to be a ruse. But maybe
Yeah.
learning of the death of Jonathan was what's going to like send him into a rage of motivation that then he's going to kill them all.
that is very Braveheart. I mean, it is that classic trope of like the death
That's
of a
true.
female partner is what spurs our male hero into action.
Or like Gladiator, or tons of movies
Exactly,
follow that
everything.
trope. So
Yeah.
so Jonathan, though, in this case is the lover who dies and sparks real motivation. Like, I mean, he's been sad
Yeah.
about some other things, but Jonathan dying, I think, is going to be like when it becomes real for David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Wow.
Even if that doesn't happen, that's going in our movie. Our movie's going to flesh
Okay.
out
Oh, I see.
that
I
relationship
see.
a little. Yeah.
You're gonna like just add a little bit of exposition there to him, like being all, let's become the real David.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe that would be kind of how the next movie after this, like the second Samuel movie would start, would be with, some sort of really moving music happening and all in silence.
And he's holding the body of Jonathan.
Right. Or like his clothes or whatever's left of him, are going to his grave and he's crying. And because they burned their bodies. Remember, they burned their bodies and took them away. But he finds out and we see him. And that's what sparks the start of the second movie. Oh, that's going to be so good. I can't wait to watch all these movies that we're going to make.
Cool. Sounds good. Well,
Okay.
all right. I'm looking forward to moving on to Second Samuel. We didn't really know. I mean, Dedeker and I certainly didn't know, like when we started this episode, that this was going to be the end of First Samuel. We've done it. We've finished another book in the Bible. It's very exciting.
Yeah, amazing.
Go us.
And so if you want to come next week to our episode of Second Samuel 1.
2 Samuel :2, the return 1, the first chapter. Yeah.
Then join us on Wednesday. We're doing it at 5 as well, Pacific Standard Time.
Same time.
On drunkbiblestudy.com/live.
Yeah, same time, but one day earlier next week. So
cool.
Tune in for that on Wednesday. We'll post about it.
We'll send out an invite in the Facebook group, the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship group.
Yeah. So definitely come to join us for that. So thank you all out there for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, early releases, personal toasts on the show, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoyed the show, take a minute to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. You can also join fellow listeners in the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group, and then find us on Twitter at Drunk Bible Cast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Jace Lindgren, Dedeker Winston, and Emily Matlack. Me. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.